Barbara? Anybody else? And Dan's on, but
Hey, Harold.
Did you get it?
Question.
Yeah, you sent it to my work address.
I sent it to the one RM BC, right?
Is it R.
I
McCarthy
don't have it.
at InSafe?
Yeah.
The volume is very low.
what's that, Steve?
Yeah, I'm on here, but I can't see anybody. All I see is myself.
There's two M's, right, Rob?
No.
No, there's only one.
Yeah, there's the problem.
Okay. No, it's just because Harold got me confused. And I don't have it in front of me right now. That's what he does. That's what you were doing, Harold, right?
Yeah, I figured that out. All right. Well, while we're waiting for that to go through, let's open the special meeting. Thank you very much for being available. Appreciate that. We have one agenda on the item, one item on the agenda for the special meeting, and that's the request for extension for filing of Mylars for Lot 1 and Lot 2, Great Oak Road. We have a request that has been submitted, and we've discussed with, hey Steve, there you are.
Oh, okay. So I should hang the phone up now, right? Because I have it on my computer?
Yeah, assuming you can hear through the computer too. Yes, you can hang up with the phone.
Oh, okay.
All right, say something. Can you hear us?
Hang on, let me. I think the phone hung up. Yeah.
All right. So I'm recommending that we give them, because of the coronavirus, that we give them a 90-day extension to complete the Mylars for submittal. Any discussion? I'd like to make a motion. I'll just go ahead and make a motion that we received it, and I recommend that we request for extension for filing the Mylars, and that extension be 90 days. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further
Is
discussion?
that you, Rob?
Yes, that was
Yes.
Rob.
Any further discussion? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Aye.
Can I just ask, so I know it's Harold, Rob, and Barbara on the call. Steve, are you there?
I can see him, but I'm not sure he's hearing anything.
Okay, is anybody else with us?
I can hear, but barely if you're talking to me.
Yeah. Who else is on?
Kate-
I'm
Kate
hearing
was-
it through the, hang on, I somehow my phone didn't disconnect. Because I'm hearing it through the phone, not my computer.
Okay, well, if you want to continue doing that, that's fine.
No, I don't want to continue doing that.
Okay, then.
Can you hang up the phone?
Anybody else on the call?
No.
Dan?
Dan is on and Kate Hewitt is on.
Yes.
I'm on, Kim. Kate Hewitt's here.
Hi, Kate.
Hi. Sorry, I was muted. I'm going to mute again, though. Okay.
Hey, Steven, try closing the Zoom app on your phone. That would
Closing the what?
You could try closing the Zoom app on your. Did you dial in using the internet, like using your phone, or did you use the Zoom app on your phone?
I can do that. Zoom. Click end. Somebody say something.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, still come to the phone. Let me zoom. Trying to shut Zoom off on the phone. Getting on the phone. All
All right.
I think
well,
I got now phone. Phone's still Oh, I don't know. Just go ahead.
All right, did you hear the motion, Stephen?
I didn't. No, I can't. I didn't have. I was trying to get the phone shut off.
Okay.
I'm
I just-
listening audio through the phone, video through the computer.
Okay, well, that will work for now, probably. I made a motion that we approve the request for extension for filing of the Mylars for Lot 1 and Lot 2 for Great Oak Road, and that the extension period be 90 days. Rob seconded that, and I asked for all in favor signify by saying aye. And Rob said aye, I said aye.
I'll say aye.
All right. And
I said
Barbara?
aye.
Barbara? Okay.
I said aye. Uh-huh.
Thank you. So then the motion is carried. And thank you very much. And then I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the special meeting so we can do the workshop. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll
Second.
second.
All right, thank you. Everyone in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion's carried. And the special meeting is closed. Now we're on to the workshop. Rob, did you get anything yet?
I did get it.
All right,
Yes.
that's wonderful. Maybe if you want to put that on the screen and we can start going through it. While you're doing that, I just want to say that I've started going through and coming up with a list of sections that are going to need revision and try to identify, you know, where some of them, how some of them are going to be revised or who's going to be responsible for it. There were a couple that we discussed last meeting about staff was going to look into it. But then, you know, changes since adoption of like 2010 plan going beyond that, we're going to have to take a look at some of us are going to have to maybe pick up some sections to do the primary modification of that section. And then we can all go through and take a look and critique those sections together so we can figure out, you know, what we want to put out there. So, Rob, I think we started, we'll start on the thing, the changes since adoption of the May 2010 plan. All right, right here. Now, at first I was thinking about, we had talked about last time about just starting everything to the end of, you know, 2019 or beginning of 2020. But with this coronavirus, it's kind of throwing everything into a different category. So we're thinking that, I think I talked to Todd about this also, where we talk about the fact that during the 2010 to 2020 period, the economy had generally steady growth. Challenges to businesses in the area would be the fact that there's a lot more online purchases, and you know.
And we have a zoning board that hasn't done in 10 years since the last plan of conservation and development, zoning has not made one change to address economic development. They have not made one change to address sea level rise and protection of shoreline properties. They haven't done anything.
That's correct.
So I think whatever we say has to be very strongly worded that this inaction is no longer tolerable.
Well, I think that's, I agree with that also, because I think we've tried to be good neighbors and played well together. And so at some
It doesn't
point,
work.
it doesn't work. You know, we try to go in with reason and logic, and that doesn't work at all. So anyway, we'll try to send this out again, but these are some of the things that I was thinking about, you know, just about, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with the economy in the next few months or longer, for all that matter. There was, where are we? Okay. And so, you know, simply put, I just said that the future economic growth for the old line will likely reflect what's occurring nationally, even, you know, along with this, how the state is doing. So.
Instead of nationally, I think it should be statewide.
Well, I also say that also. Local governments will
Okay.
also, you know, feel the impact from the federal government to the state and will therefore reduce financial support from the state to the local governments.
Do you have a copy of the document changes, Steve?
Yeah, it's right. It's on the screen.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I haven't. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was just what my initial draft. And so, you know, looking for additional comments or changes would be, is what I'm really asking. So, but you can,
I think it's fine. I think what you wrote is fine because it's really, it's getting, and it's an introduction. It's introducing the rest of the document.
all right.
And I think what you wrote is quite accurate.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, they could change the wording a little bit to mention that early in 2020, the economy hit an all-time high. And then with the coronavirus impact, it's descended to about 2018 or 19 levels.
That's a
But
good
do we
comment.
know that? I know, but do we know what level it descended to?
Well,
With the
we could
coronavirus?
we could take a look at the S&P 500. That's a good indicator, and
Yeah.
where it is now, and look at where it was. You know, they have a value over time thing you can look at, and see where it was. That's about the equivalent to today.
Okay.
Or maybe you
Or-
could speak in more generic terms because this isn't.
Yeah,
gonna come
because
out.
it's changing every day. I mean, a few days ago, things were looking good, and then we had 3 days of tanking.
Yeah. Yes, we did. No, that's a good comment. Thanks.
I mean, I get a Barron's report every day, and they've been continually surprised that the market's held up as well as it has. And basically, it reflects confidence in the companies, the financial position before the coronavirus, and that they were in good shape, and a lot of companies had tons of cash, and so they've got some buffer here. And then the government's injected trillions into the economy, and a little tiny bit into my account. So the market and the economy has not really descended to what we would expect, but it's all going to depend on how reopening occurs. If in gradual reopening, there aren't spikes so that they have to throw the switch to turn it off again, the economy will continue to improve and unemployment will continue to drop. When I left Florida, Florida's governor's done a fantastic job. And they were able to flatten the curve and start reopening last week. Most retail stores are open again, department stores, etc. Restaurants are doing takeout and limited 25% indoor seating and unlimited outdoor seating, provided the tables are spaced apart. And there's been no spiking. In fact, they opened the beaches, and then it was limited. You could only park for 2 hours. Well, now the beaches are open unlimited in Manatee County where we were. But he's not doing the same thing in Lauderdale and Miami-Dade. We have a moron for a governor who's treating Eastern Connecticut and Northwestern Connecticut the same as Fairfield County. And it makes no sense at all. So he's stifling the economy in the areas that could do a more gradual reopening than he's allowing. Yes, New Haven, Hartford, and Fairfield County need to be extremely cautious. That's where the cases and the deaths predominantly. The rest of the state is pretty minor. Look what happened in Wisconsin. They sued the governor of Wisconsin for trying to keep the state closed, and it opened up. So,
yeah. Well, that's the point, Steve. But,
everything's uncertain.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll get information to put into that section, and we'll look at it again. Going on to the next section, the appreciation for a unique resource. Let's see if we go down on that. There's really not much to do. That end really needs to come out of there, but we've gone past that. Historic significance, they talk about a handbook that was printed at some point, like in 2007. Was that ever revised? Do we need to even consider that? Anybody know?
Well, the Historic District Handbook has just created a new one since this. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a new one. When did that
come
out?
There is a new handbook. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's more recent than that.
Okay, that's great. We'll update that then.
I'll look at it tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. The increase in tourism, we've talked about this a little bit before. How much do we want to say about the Art Academy, or just take it right out of there?
I agree. It's basically a rental property now.
Yep. So I basically cut out some of that stuff. And I had a question on there for everybody. Do we want to say that, you know, it is rental property? Do we want to include the discussion of the Art Academy offices to the France Foundation, or just not mention it at all?
Do you know how long their lease is?
What do you mean associated with Yale? Wasn't it New Haven College? Not Yale.
I thought it was Yale, New Haven.
University of New Haven.
Okay, University. Okay, all right. But anyway, do we want to mention the fact that it is associated with anything?
I don't know if I would go as specific to say who is leasing it, but it could be stated that, you know, it's being leased out at this time, so that it is
good point.
Described as a rental.
Yeah, I agree.
Property.
We ended after leasing office space, period, because they have, I think they have 2 tenants, France, and there's another one. I thought there was another one before I left this winter.
I'm not aware of that. Dan, are you?
No, as far as I know, France is the only one in there. I know, they have changed the student housing to multi-family apartments, basically. And the reason they could do that was in the approval. They simply approved it as multifamily. So they are renting those out currently as just market rate apartments.
Yeah, I heard they
Right.
got full occupancy, so. All right,
So they had to renovate them, though. The kids left them a mess.
all right. Residential development rate decline. Basically what I said in there was the fact, there's a couple of different reasons. First of all, we're running out of attractive land suitable for development. But we
We've
need
never
to,
really recovered from Connecticut never really recovered from the 2008 housing crisis.
no. But the other thing we need to put in there is they had talked about, the installation or in proposed installation of year-round domestic water supply and sewers in the beach communities. And I put in there parentheses, need to name them. And Hartford Avenue have been allowed and will allow seasonal cottages to be converted to year-round homes. And so there's quite a bit of permits being pulled, aren't there, Dan, for that kind of stuff?
Zoning doesn't regulate year-round use, it's health department.
Correct. All I can say is that we are processing lots of permits right now, both new homes, additions, people seeking variances. I guess that's all I can comment there. We've been pretty busy.
All right, like where are the new homes going in?
One's going in on Sandpiper, 3 Sandpiper. There's a couple lots there.
Yeah, that was a subdivision we approved a few years ago.
Years ago. Yeah.
What's the other house? Kim, do you remember where the other house was that Mark was talking about? The other $1 million home?
There's a couple going up in the beach areas, new homes.
Yeah, and we're looking at tear down and rebuilds that require variances and stuff like that. 8 Pond Road there's 3 non-conforming houses on a lot. One is being torn down and rebuilt.
11 Hartung.
Yep, 11A Hartung is two houses on one lot, and that's being rebuilt into one large house.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But people are really interested in doing. They are sitting at home thinking of stuff to do. It's been pretty busy.
Wow. Okay.
But they're
Well,
not.
that's good.
They're moving ahead without sewers because there is no exact time frame on sewers.
Yeah.
Right. And Kim, which application was it that the DOT rejected that needed to get reworked for things like the there was a crossing. Yeah, they were going to use a bridge for one of the crossings, and DOT nixed that because the bridge is too old, and they had issues. So they have a lot of work to do to rework that particular project.
Well, maybe we should reword this whole paragraph a little bit, because I talk about the installation and proposed installation. So in other words, there's some things that are planned, and the timetable is one of the big questions.
Rob's got the magic crystal ball for that. What is it, Rob?
There is no crystal ball for that. It's still in the works.
Well, Rob, won't the beach community, the private beach communities, begin way before Soundview at this point?
They'll likely start before. I don't know if I would say way before. Things may move along more quickly for the town now that a few things are coming into place. So, the private beaches, as far as I know and can see, it is pretty definitely happening. And so, it is just a matter of when.
All right. So the gist of this paragraph concerning the beach communities would be fairly accurate, or
Yeah, no, it is pretty accurate. I mean, the installation and proposed installation, you know, it's all right. It's
there was Hartford Avenue and one other street, right? Portland or something? No.
Portland and the other Swan.
actually, well, are we going to take out streets and put in just the Sound View area?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's-
That works.
And where it says will allow seasonal cottages, I would put will allow some seasonal cottages because there are still requirements to be met that some of those properties will not be able to meet with, even with sewers.
Why is that?
Because if you, Dennis Gricci did something on this like 30 years ago over at the state, and you can't, you have to meet the other requirements in the zone. You can't just put sewers in and say, okay, now we can be year round.
Well, you have to
Well-
meet building code requirements, installation,
Right.
and that.
Right, and some of those places don't meet them.
Well, and part of that whole agreement is that if the property couldn't support a septic system, we couldn't hook up sewers to the house. In other words, they just couldn't plop a house on a lot that didn't meet the requirements for having a house and a septic system.
That's correct.
So,
Well, is it correct that, and maybe this is a Dan question, that they have to meet both health code and building code, and that once the sewers come in, that checks the box about health code, and so then it's back to building code as well as maybe any zoning issues, but more so building code.
well, that's a
There
good comment,
really
good
is.
question.
There really is no zoning. Again, it's really a checklist that the building department has on the website, and what the health department says. All those structures are all existing non-conforming. Obviously, expansions and stuff would require variances, but from a zoning standpoint, there's nothing you have to do between seasonal and non-seasonal full year round. It's all in the health code and building code.
So Rob, what are you thinking? Putting that statement in there? That
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think
if-
it's all right in there the way it is.
okay.
Well, I modified a little, but
Yeah, that's fine. Good. Any other comments on this section? All right, hearing none. If we go down to Interstate 95, this talks about, long-term plan for 95. And I know that the last couple of years, they've been notices about they're changing like the exit 74, for example, and they're looking at doing exit 72. Do we have anything that says anything more recent than that? And I also listed that, I don't know what year it was, but when was the DOT trying to look at pushing train service through the historic district? Was that
That was the feds, more the
Yeah.
feds.
the
Yeah.
United States? Or,
Yeah.
I don't think we
Kate's
even
on the
should
call.
mention it.
Kate, do you have that exact information from the trains?
Hi. Okay. I can get that information. I don't have it right in my head right now, but we have it. I can send it to you, Kim or Dan.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Oh, I know what ties into this, by the way, into rail. Amtrak has just is developing, and in fact, we got it at Harbor Management last week. They are developing plans for a new railroad bridge to be built just south of the existing bridge. And I can get I have the proposal. In fact, I sent it to Kate too. But they're not, the opening is going to be better because the vertical height, the bascule bridge is going to open to a more upright position so that for most of the span that's open for boat traffic, we'll have unlimited vertical clearance. And it's going to offset, I don't know, I think it's about 20 or 30 feet from the existing opening. It's going to be wider as well. There'll be a little realignment on the Saybrook and the Old Lyme sides. The plan isn't fully developed, but it's going to replace the existing bridge, and when completed, the existing bridge will be taken down, including the piers.
Wow, what do you mean by unlimited height?
Well, when the bridge opens up, it's not going to hang over the channel.
Okay, I get it.
So you can get anything through. I will forward that plan to you after the meeting. I have it right on my laptop, on my desktop. I'll send it to you and Kim.
All right, thank you. That's good. All right. Any other comments about that? Okay. How about the rail service? Is that I mean, as far as
Well, that's what
the shoreline service, that's still accurate, right?
I know it's from Old Saybrook to New Haven, but I don't know about New Haven to New York.
New Haven to New York, you would take the Metro North commuter rail
Right.
service.
Right.
Does I think Shoreline East goes all the way to New London, right? Okay.
It goes from New London, but you can also take Shoreline East to Stamford a couple times a day direct.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, what happens is it does not stop anywhere. And Metro North, you pay Metro North, but it doesn't stop. Like there's one direct from Stamford to Saybrook or Saybrook to Stamford a day.
Wow. Okay.
True fact.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Would you want us to have, update the plan to reflect, add that route that's been added, or?
Yeah, that would be good. Was trying to be accurate here.
I mean, we could try to
Is
get
it still added after Corona? Is anybody on the train?
True. I mean,
Good
we could try to get
question.
ridership information from the COG, for
Is
prior
anybody
years.
going to New York?
Yeah, they are. I mean, my kids have, and they said ridership is almost non-existent.
Wow.
Yeah, so honestly, that may impact Shoreline East in the future. Because the state loses money on Shoreline East. They lose money on everything, but Metro North, if we're losing more money on that, the state may decide to cut Shoreline East.
Well,
Yeah,
what we
when
could-
one of my kids,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, when one of the kids went back, they were the only one on the entire car in 2 cars. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Oh, they had their own quiet car.
Oh yeah, real quiet.
Well, we can say currently this is what's being provided, but it may change because of the current conditions. Perfect.
Is that local bus service run by the Estuary Transit System? Is that accurate still?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I know I see the buses around, but
Which route are you referring to, Rob?
alternate transportation bus.
Yes, that still that route still goes through Old Lyme to New London, and they did add a route to that is on the other end of the service area from Clinton, Madison to Middletown. That was added.
My grandson used to take it to Middlesex Community College.
Yeah, that was the main reason they added it. Yeah. There's actually talk of merging Estuary and Middletown area transit in terms for maintenance facilities and things of that nature as well. But I haven't been in the loop on that in a couple months, so I'm not sure where that's going. There was a bus study being done by a bus integration study being done by the COG, as well as like a route study that was proceeding when I left. So there may be some additional information we can provide to you guys on busing if you'd like.
All right, terrific. All right. Industrial development at exit 71. I can't remember why Hatchets was underlined.
Somebody just purchased 50 Hatchets Hill Road. They haven't made any applications yet, but I know they've been in contact with the land use office about proposals on that 9-acre parcel.
Now, is that the one that, who owns that now?
Ron Sweeney.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Hey, Harold, one thing I see in there that should be taken out is the sentence, the area was zoned to allow telecommunication towers to serve cellular phone service. We have no control over the siting of cellular towers. It's all done by the siting council.
Yep.
Even if your town has zoning regulations on it, they're superseded by by the state.
Terrific. Thank you for that observation.
Yep.
All right. Changes in community activity. When this was last done, they talked about Laysville Center had just been completed. So obviously that's no longer the case.
We have to change A and P to big Y.
Yep. Thank you.
You know, that sentence has to be reworded or.
Yeah. Because I think they were talking about is, you know.
A and P store replaced by another national chain. Big Y is not a national chain, it's a regional chain.
Well, is it still pertinent or necessary, or does that sentence just come out entirely?
I think you take it out entirely.
Yeah, I agree with Rob.
No value added.
Has there been any other? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll wait.
I was just going to say, has there been any other commercial activity since this was written, besides the obvious of Big Y and everything? I can't think of any.
Well, Dunkin' Donuts,
Oh, yeah.
not that it's big, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just that was the same use, different company.
yep.
Well, on the decline side, you got Cherry Stones that closed. That was in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point. And that gas station on 156.
Well,
Yeah,
All
Gulf
Pro,
Station.
Swan Pure are all new down that end. All Pro's new down there.
Down
That's a
where?
new building. By Laysville, All Pro's new.
Yeah, Laysville, but yeah, the Gulf Station's Shoreline. It was Shoreline Service. That closed.
But All Pro is a new building that was built since
Yep.
this.
Well, they did two things. Well, one is the All Pro, and then there's that office building or that other building you put next to it that's got the hair salon in it and some other stuff.
Yeah, same owner.
Go on.
What about where Scarpetta is? Is that? Well, that was still there 10 years ago. Yeah, it's just different ownership.
They've also built some stuff behind the Shell station on Davis Road, whatever that throughway is. Those two new office buildings have gone up on Huntley Road.
Oh, yeah, Sharp. Sharp's one of the owners of that large one. He and I forgot his name, but he's very active in town.
How long has David been back there? Any idea?
Who?
David Kelsey.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's Matt Sharp's partner.
Oh,
So
okay.
they've been there from the start when they built it.
Yeah, but
Is
they
that
built
fully
it in the last,
occupied?
I don't know.
They occupy it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's two buildings back there, and I don't know if they're fully occupied.
Well, the
Like-
Sharp Kelsey one's occupied. I don't know about the other one. I forget what's back there, what's in that building, but I've never been in it.
I know there's a spa there of some kind.
That's-
Massage
yeah,
spa,
exactly.
Rosemary
That's
Bike.
right.
But I don't know what else is in that. Oh, I think there used to be a vein specialist back there too. I don't know if he's still
Yeah.
there.
And Deep River Chips used to be back there also.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
anymore. They
He's
also,
So we
in
haven't-
Stonington.
well, going down
I was
Davis
just going to
Road,
say,
they also built new stuff. There's Northeast Plastic Surgeons, and there's a Connecticut Aesthetics is back there. Those buildings have been built out since then.
okay.
Oh, across from the dentist's office.
Going
that
behind
building.
Dunkin' Donuts. They
Yeah,
built another-
Potter, Kitchings and Potter has an office in there,
yeah.
and some other businesses.
So in the past 10 years, there has not been a huge, well, obviously not a huge increase in commercial activity, but it's relatively minor, correct?
It's more commercial than retail. Commercial and business than retail.
Mm-hmm.
All right, those are good points.
And we have mail order and internet shopping. I don't think we need mail order.
Um,
Has anybody ordered anything mail order in the last
no,
5 years?
no.
Everything's internet.
Oh, we'll just take internet shopping. Just take out the mail order part.
Yeah. Internet shopping skyrocketed with the
Rob, that's about
thing.
3 lines down from where you are.
All right, I see it.
I'm impressed, Rob. You do well. Okay. Anything more on that? We need to dress that up, but it gets us in the right direction. Capital facilities. So
I started editing the school section.
great. Yeah, I see that. What other things have had, we should see what other things we've done capital facilities for the town. I mean, the landfill, that's a,
Didn't the Public Works build some kind of building?
They built a salt and sand and storage or something. What?
Okay.
I don't think anything.
nothing major that I can think of.
No.
No.
Obviously, I'm not as familiar, but when was that boat, the boathouse built? Would that be something that would at Haynes Park?
Yeah, that was in the last 10 years.
Yes, it was. That's a boat mansion, by the way.
I'm gonna, yeah. Well, I was trying to be delicate.
That's why I was going to leave it out.
Well, it's up to you guys.
It's
Well,
the boathouse.
We could say something about plans for rebuilding the restroom facilities at Haynes Park, which is now planned subsequent to the completion of a new boathouse.
I'd go with that. And then they're putting in expanded playground equipment and other things. So,
And they added a playground at Town Woods in the last 10 years.
At Town Woods, actually, and Cross Lane's got a major upgrade
Yeah.
as well.
oh, did it? I haven't really been over there lately.
I hate to say
Oh,
this,
didn't
guys,
it-
but
did-
Todd
I-
Mack has been calling me twice. What should I do? Should I answer and jump off? Is he having problems joining?
You can call him because I think he just called me, but I couldn't take it. But why don't you call him back?
Well, didn't they
Now?
they read?
Well, we're almost done here, so. But,
Harold, they rebuilt the recreational facilities on Cross Lane.
okay,
Those were all done just a few years ago.
all right. Great, thanks.
Did you guys want to address any potential future needs for capital facilities in this at all, or?
Well, I'm not sure what's being, right now, I'm not sure what's being planned. We might ask that question, and maybe I'll talk to selectmen and see if they have a long-range plan for any future capital expenses.
Okay, yeah, and I
Yeah,
didn't.
the capital budget would show you that.
Yeah, and I wasn't
Todd's
sure if
gonna
you
call
guys saw any needs in town for anything as well.
Say that again? Dan?
If you guys saw a need for anything in town yourselves, that
Yeah.
as a planning commission you might recommend the town look into.
the commercial tax base.
I think we could start a support group of towns in Connecticut that would like that.
Yeah.
Well, we could also suggest that there's been criticism that it is difficult to identify the businesses on Halls Road in Lowline Marketplace, and that perhaps revisions to the signing would permit a sign at the road, one of those marquee signs that it has the name of the shopping center, and then it lists the stores within.
Yeah.
Most places have that. And, well, it's a simple zoning change.
Well, we don't even need a zoning change. I talked to Christine Nelson, the planner in Old Saybrook, and she said because that's a state road, you can petition the state to put signs up. And apparently they just have chosen not to do that.
Put them in the right of way. Yeah, that's right.
The state doesn't like that, Harold.
Well, I know they probably don't like it, but that's what they've done over in Old Saybrook, and they've been successful at it.
Okay.
That's what Christine told me. Maybe they've changed their mind.
If it's set back a few feet, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the right of way, the state's right of way.
Well, the state road right of ways are pretty substantial.
Well, that means they have to be in there because right now they certainly wouldn't get permission from zoning.
You know where the flagpole is? On the opposite side of the entrance, there's space to put a sign. That would not be on state property because it's in the parking lot. It's adjacent to the parking, not the buffer between the parking and the road.
All right.
I mean, I'm happy to discuss anything like that with the zoning commission. I mean, we can include it in the document as well, but we can simply make a recommendation to the zoning commission to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like Stephen alluded to before, I mean, when we did the 2010 revision, we had a number of suggestions for different organizations of things that ought to be done. And I know we had a number of them for zoning, and none of them have moved off dead center. So,
and consider the irony of that, because Jane Marsh was very heavily involved when we drafted that 2010 POCD.
Yes, that was correct.
That's why at the beginning of the meeting, I suggested extremely strong wording in order to try to kickstart this. We have a new chairman of zoning now, and I think that
we've got some new members that will support them.
Yeah, I think we've got some new members that are possibly more forward-thinking. See, I'm being delicate. How unusual.
Very nice, Stephen.
I certainly would love to breach any divide between the two commissions. It certainly would make sense if you guys worked more closely together, that things would be done more effectively and smartly.
Well, and I appreciate that. And actually, we've tried that, but they just didn't want to play. So
we couldn't have worked more closely than we did in 2010 with, I mean, Jane was very helpful, but we know what the motives were. And despite agreeing to the wording of suggested changes in zoning, they never even got up to the plate, much less go to bat.
Yeah.
So I think we hammered the point. I think economic development would love it. Chamber of Commerce would love it. Most of the people in the town would like it. We're also talking about the changes for, sea level rise and shoreline erosion. And I mean, I took a walk down the beach today with Franny, and you get to the end of West End Avenue. At high tide, there is no beach. Zero.
Yeah. We just have a couple minutes left. Thank you, Stephen. But Rob, on there's a statement in the like for the open space, that they were planning on, is working on a relationship resulting in a possibility of developing a town-wide trail in the coming years. I think that's impossible, quite frankly. It's very
So
less.
I'm going to dispute that statement.
Okay. Where are you going to get a town-wide trail?
Well,
They
that's-
bought the McCulloch property.
Yeah, I can, from Flat Rock Hill Road, right now, I can run from my house, well, or walk if you choose to walk rather than run, or bike, I guess.
I
Come
can't run.
come out on Whippoorwill Road, cross over Whippoorwill Road, go into the Ames property, come out on Boggy Hole Road. You can actually get into other open space off of Boggy Hole Road and come out by Old Lime, or by the Old Lime Inn. So it may not be a true, full-blown town-wide trail system, but they're connecting an awful lot together.
Oh,
Pretty
that's
close.
interesting. That's pretty close.
That's a pretty good distance.
And from
All right.
also
Stand
from
corrected.
with the McCulloch property, I can get across to Lord's Meadow also very easily.
Well, the
Oh, okay.
the two big ones between the Ames and the McCulloch property in the
Yeah.
last 10 years, that's really helped them.
Yeah.
Mary, can you call me back? I'm on a Zoom meeting, planning commission meeting.
That Todd made it on.
Hey, Todd.
Hello.
How are you?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Todd.
Steven?
All right. One of the things I think we're trying to figure out is how much open space has changed. In other words, what did they start with in 2010, and what did they end with in 2020?
So I just
Right,
Well,
I mean,
because,
yeah.
I just typed in a statement off of the Old Land Trust website that just is a total of their holdings or whatever that they just list on their website, that they have 70 properties with over 1,000 acres. So rather than
Great.
saying what happened in the last 10 years.
No,
well,
that's fine.
Amanda
That's
Blair could give you the information on what's happened in the last 10 years.
Right.
But I like that, just saying what they have right now. So
That's good.
Well, that's the land trust, not the open space commission, though. So
Correct.
Right.
We need both.
Right.
we need both of those numbers.
Yeah, Amanda would have the open space stuff.
Okay. Any more comments on that section? Rob, maybe just put a note in there that we need to combine both land trust and open space, just so we don't forget
Yep.
that.
I think just the total is important. I don't think the delta from 10 years ago to now really makes much difference if they get the total acreage that's in the open space combined is probably really what your goal is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably easier to figure out too.
true. All right. Basically, I was shooting for about 5 o'clock, so I think we're pretty much out of time. So
5:05.
So what we'll do is the land use review process. Kim, are you gonna say something?
Yeah, are you and Rob gonna like update the document because you're working with it, and then send it back out with the changes, and then we move forward?
Well, what I was
how is
going through and before, I made out of things of sections that need to be rewritten. And so if we send this out again, I'd like people who have some time to let me know what sections they're interested in working on, so we can include some of these comments. I think a lot of the things that we've changed already are pretty good, but I'd like to kind of get a count on who's working what, and so that we can go through these. Like, this is going to be a first cut, and then we're going to start going through
Can I ask a question?
Sure, certainly.
Todd, would you want to work on the sea level rise and shoreline erosion together?
Sure, that'd be fine. Like to.
Do you think the next meeting we could do in person with the revised document?
Yeah,
Or
I'm
no?
sure, but we could probably meet at, I would like to think the next meeting would be in town hall, and we could use the large meeting room, because they're going to want us to have some social distancing, so we could
How about
comply
we
with
done
those.
tables in the backyard?
Well, we could
I don't
do
think
that
the
too.
building's gonna open to the public by June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have not given us
You-
good guidance. We're trying to plan on with zoning and ZBA on kind of having a hybrid right now of in person and virtual. But if Tim doesn't open up the town hall, we'll be all virtual.
Okay.
Well, couldn't we do an in-person somewhere outside?
I was suggesting in the back, like, of the town hall, in the back of town hall, where we could bring our chairs, but I just don't know. I have a call into Ecosel. I was gonna ask the legality. In fact, he called me back during this meeting, like, if I post it in the rear of town hall and it was a nice day, we could sit out there and I could put a table out.
Or
Yeah,
over
we
cross
definitely
lane?
make
There's a
sure
lot of
Ed is
space
okay
at
with
cross
this.
lane.
What, Dan?
We definitely need. I thank you for contacting Ed, Kim. But yeah, we would definitely need to get clarification and an okay from Ed, because we have to make sure that whatever we do is available to the public, and it may be difficult to record the meeting outdoors and pick up everyone's voice if we're all socially distanced and spread out. That would be a concern.
Well, we don't have to spread out larger than the meeting hall. And that
No, I
puts
know,
us
Look,
but-
there's a lot of space behind in cross lane.
Oh, that's true. Parking lot, you mean?
Yeah. Parking lot or a tennis court or
Well,
Or
what
just
does
near the
everybody
pond?
think about that? Barbara, do you want to do it in person or? Barbara gone. This Barbara's gone.
Well, I think one of the problems is all this stuff has to be recorded. And so we could move it outside someplace, but we need to have power to record the meeting.
So if it's an in-person,
Well, let me find out if it's legal.
yeah,
Find out if it's.
I have one of those little Honda generators that is very quiet that would power any kind of power sound system.
Extension cord will go a long ways, but that's fine.
That too.
First
That
fine,
too.
and I don't know. I'm not as concerned about that at all. If everything's all goofed up, if you do the best you can, that's the best you can. So I'm not at all concerned about people suing us, because I don't think anybody's ever come to one of these meetings anyway. So it's not.
Well, see, the thing of it is, if just as a workshop, we really don't have to. We just say having a workshop. I don't think I'm questioning whether or not we really need to record a workshop.
We'll just get
I'll get
clarification from Ed
Yep.
first, and then we can inform you guys beginning of next week, or even Friday if it gets back to us as to what he thinks, and then we can schedule something from there.
That sounds like a plan. Okay. All right. So I'll try to come up with something about what sections need to be looked at again and reviewed in more detail, and send that out. And if you let me know what things that you'd be interested in working on, and we'll go from there. But as far as our next starting point would be with the land review process and the POCD for next time, when next time is. Here's a question for everybody. We've kind of been doing it as a monthly meeting do we want to keep it as a monthly schedule, or do you want to? I don't think there's any reason to probably accelerate this. So if we got together once a month for a workshop, that makes sense with you? Thoughts and
I'm
comments?
flexible. I'm flexible time-wise, other than a few virtual doctor appointments. I'm just keeping on.
All right. So Barbara, what do you think? How often?
I think Barbara's gone. We figured out.
Oh, okay.
We did lose one phone person.
Okay. Rob, how about you?
Yeah, monthly's okay. And, you know, if we, depending on where we're at, a few months from now, we may need to
Step it up a little bit.
increase it a little, but for now, monthly's good.
All right. Todd, your thoughts?
I agree with the monthly part because I think we're really aiming at a moving target as far as what, especially, you know, the Hall Road area and the whole retail restaurant world, I think is going to be pretty hard to describe what it's going to look like in 6 months or a year from now. So yep. I think we can work on the zoning part, and the coast, the sea level is going to change whether there's a COVID thing or not, but all the rules for restaurants and all the other stuff and how willing people are to re-assimilate back into society after this whole thing slows down. I think a monthly meeting is fine. And as far as trying to meet a timeline to the state that we got it done this year, I don't really care what the state thinks, especially they're so screwed up right now. The last thing that they care about is weenie old lives playing a conservation development. So, and I don't really want to have to do things twice, where I really think we're aiming at a moving target right this minute.
All right, thank you.
I'm fine, whatever people want.
Okay, great. Also, for right now, we'll just look at it for doing it as a monthly meeting. So our next one will be in June, but we'll get these documents out.
The only thing we need to think about is ultimately this document will need to go to public hearing.
Yes.
And you want to make sure you want to allow the other boards the opportunity to review the document and make any changes or additions or, give their input, what you choose to do with that.
No, I've already been kind of put on notice that the selectmen want to take a look at it. The Economic Development Committee wants to take a look at it. Probably Halls would want to take a look at it. Zoning's going to want to look at it. We don't meet in
August. So I just want to make sure that you think we don't meet in August, that September, October, you're going to be in public hearing in November.
I doubt that.
No, October. October, you got to be in public hearing for any comments because you got to be accepted. So you just remember, so somewhere in June and July, you got to allow time for comments and revisions.
Nothing's going to change between now and forever with public hearings and getting people together. And I think that's something that's not going to happen. So I wouldn't worry about having to get it done. And
okay,
going to be slow with their getting together with comments because they got to do these same meetings. So I personally don't believe we're in any hurry. There has to be a certain amount of normalcy, and right now there does not appear much of that in the foreseeable future.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for, your time and comments. And Rob, I'll talk to you not later tonight, maybe we can talk tomorrow about getting this thing out.
Right. Yeah, and I'll send back to you right now what was just edited and revised.
All right, terrific.
You and Kim, so that you'll have it anyway. So.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Rob, we'll get the thumb drive to you again for the recording.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Okay. Kim, if you put that out, so someone puts it outside town hall, I'll pick it up and bring it over to Rob.
Okay.
just let me know.
I'll be in tomorrow morning. I have I'll be working on our notes from this and also some other things I have to do. So
All right.
I'll get it from. Oh, you know what, Dan? The other Michelle is not in tomorrow for me to get the thumb drive.
Well,
what I'll do is I will talk to one of them's in. Which is it? Are you saying single L or double L?
Double L is not in.
Double L. Well, then I'll just get a new thumb drive from single L. She's the one who's got them.
yeah.
Okay.
The only thing we need to record is the meeting. We don't need to record the workshop. So the file should be fairly small.
And so unfortunately, then I recorded the whole thing as one. So
Okay.
Well, it'll help Tim with minutes and stuff, so.
yeah.
All right.
Tim, can you call me after we sign off on this? I just want to go over connecting next time so I don't have to use my telephone and the computer.
All right.
You think I could tell you that?
And
Well,
hey,
I guess what I need to know, I've now downloaded Zoom. So I already had it on the phone. I did not have it on the iMac. So